Well, hey, everybody. What's going on? Happy Saturday. How's everybody's weekend going so far? I hope everybody's weekend's going just swimmingly. Mine is going all right. I can't really complain. And even if I did, who the hell would listen, right? So what's the point? Let me say hi to some people. Hey, Heather, whatever. Hey, Jackie. Hey, Kez Chick. Hold on a second. What's my thing doing? Hey, Molson Man. Hey, Coolest Reviews. Hey, Maria. Let's see. Recliner Detective. Hello. Hi, Crackling Rosie True Crime. Amelia Sparkles. Hi, Allie79. Hi, Jean. What's up? Hey, Molson Man. What up, what up, what up? All right. So who's ready for round 2 of Ezra Palooza? Hopefully there's no more freaking not poetry. It's not the right word, Jen. Get it together. Hopefully there's no more journal reading because it's annoying. It's not that I don't think that Alex was a good writer. I do actually think he was quite a good writer, but what I don't like is Ezra's interpretation of his writing. Like, girl, bye. You can barely read like most of the words that are in his essays. Why are you reading them? Very annoying. So, our good Ward fam friend Allie 79 had a little road trip today, and she went to none other than Races Delane's coffee shop. And so she is going to send me some stuff that she got from there. And I'm going to make a little video as only Jen Lu can do. And I'm going to show it to you guys tomorrow night because she probably just barely walked in the door. So I don't have it just yet. And yeah. So you guys got to come back tomorrow night if you want to get the video and see Allie's little road trip. Yeah. Yeah. All right. So let me do, I hope I said hi to everybody. If I didn't, say hi to you. I'm sorry, and let me know because I would like to say hi to you. I just sometimes I don't know. I be scrolling, right? And then I think, okay, I said it, but then did I say it? And that's why, and then I stop myself. And I'm either saying hi to the same person 87 times or saying hi or not saying hi to, thanks, Kez Chick. Not saying hi to people like, like I'm rude, like I've got no couth, no manners, like I wasn't raised with home training or something. That's not what I wanted to do. I don't know why I just did that. So yeah, the weather here today, gorgeous. So gorgeous. I love spring. It's my favorite. Favorite. What are you doing, Jen? Okay. I should have this somewhere better than where I keep it so I can remember the link. But I don't, because if I did that, it wouldn't be me. We're on day number 2. Well, we're on part number 2. I think she spends like the entire day testifying. Yes. Okay. So let me do what I got to do to add stuff to the stream. Also today, you know what else I did? I watched Lost Boys, and I watched the remake of Nightmare on Elm Street, the one with Jackie Earl Haley. And I noticed some things, like some nods to the original and the way that they switched some stuff around. I liked it's not that I've never seen it before. I've seen it like 11 billion times, but um it was still good. Gene, I did nothing but be fabulous. What am I doing? I wanted to highlight something. Oh, recliner detective. Babe, what are we going to do about this penguin weather? It's too much. You're full on penguin status at this point. That's ridiculous. That's too cold. No, no, no. Generally would never make it. Yeah, I think, yeah, in Eau Claire. Um, I will say this. I could make it because I got a whole trunk full of the darndest, cutest sweaters ever. I have tons of sweaters. I got little toboggans. I got little scarves. I got all kinds of stuff. I have a whole winter wardrobe. I just had to pack it away because it's Florida and we don't need it here. So, yeah, you got to get here to the Floridas, recliner detective, so we can unthaw you. So you're not at full penguin status no more. All right. So are we ready? I hope so, because we're doing it. Here we go. Oh, wait, hold on. I didn't make it like I wanted it. All right. Now we're doing it for reals, for reals. All right. Here we go. Oh, let me speed her up just a tad, because I find her voice, and yeah. Anyway, you guys know we're all on the same page here. All right, here we go.
Ted, no.
Okay. And let me ask you again, when he talked about his hand being unfeeling, is he referring to this physically or psychologically at this point? In terms
No, Kez Chick, I'm on, wait, West Palm Beach. That's on the Atlantic side. I'm on the Gulf side. I'm by Tampa. Yeah. Right? I feel like I mean, I know where I am, but I feel like West Palm Beach is on the other side. See, this is why I'm not from here. I know I feel ridiculous because I should know, but I mean, I live here, but I'm not from here. Hold on, let me look so I can answer your question, because now it's going to bother me. I'm not going to be able to focus on Ezra in this condition, in this state of wanting to know. All right, hold on, let me look. I feel like this doesn't even have West Palm Beach on it. Hold on, let me look. Thank you, Molson Man. Thank you. There you go, Kez Chick. Yeah, I'm on the other side, but like, you know, Florida's not all that wide. So it's like a 2.5 hour drive from where I am to the other side of Florida. So yeah. Okay. Here we go. Oh, wow. How exciting. I want to be on a yacht. I don't want to do any of the work on the yacht, though. I just want to be on the yacht. I just want to chill. I mean, I will help out, but I don't want to be I don't want to be expected, you know, like my paycheck depends on it. I just want to help from the goodness of my heart when I'm ready to. Yeah. I would love to be on a yacht. All right, here we go. Well, now we're doing it for real, for reals. Okay, here we go.
if he discussed it with you.
When he discussed it with me, he said it felt different, but he was discussing how psychologically it felt numb and strange to him.
Did Alex have some pet names or references he would call you besides boy?
Yes.
What were those?
His pet names for me mostly were his lamb. He would call me his son, as in S-U-N, and lamb, son, and his goon at times.
All right, let me talk to you specifically about lamb.
Yes.
What did he tell you he meant by his lamb?
As we were intimate, he would tell me, and as he would call me his lamb, he would use it in the holy sacrificial way, as the Lamb of Christ or the Lamb of God. He would tell me I was his holy sacrifice. I was his lamb.
Did that have a specific reference, his lamb, in relationship to what's shown on the cover of the Kierkegaard book? Did he say that to you?
Yes, we discussed this deeply. The sacrifice or what is shown on the book is the story of Abraham and his struggle as he was called to sacrifice his son, which he had an ultimate
Amelia.
love for. And he would discuss to me
I
the
don't
beauty
think she
and
did.
everything that was in the lines and in between the lines for him for that novel, as he would read it to me during intercourse.
And was there a specific comparison between the lamb that
Yes.
Abraham substitutes for his son and calling you the lamb?
Yes.
Can you explain what that is?
As he would say to me that Abraham, the sacrifice of the son is a sacrifice to God, the holiness of it. And he considered me his lamb, his holy sacrifice, and all of
Yes,
the love
coolest
in
reviews.
that, and the sacrifice of not wanting to give that up.
He also used the word son, S-U-N. Was he
Yes.
referring to anything specific when he told you you were his son?
Yes, he had a pet name for.
I
And
know this is embarrassing.
this is embarrassing for me. It's in reference to my vagina, the sun, the blaze, the warmth. He would often talk about how my intimate area was his sun, S-U-N.
Now, during this time, I'm sorry, I'm going to take you up now to, first of all, are there many journal phrases where Alex would refer to love and do what you will?
Yes,
Did you take the journals and
I-
count up
I
what you
agree,
thought, how many
Jean.
times that he would actually refer to that phrase in his journals?
yes.
How many times did you count?
Roughly, it was the high 20s into the 30s. It's deeply woven into the journals.
Was that phrase also deeply woven into your relationship?
Yes, it seemed like instead of your typical morning text message, it would be a text of love and do as you will. Or he would somehow bring it into almost every conversation we would have intimately, just normal conversation at the coffee shop, at home. It was always a part of every day.
I'm going to ask you about some specific sexual acts between
Oh,
you
boy.
and Alex.
Trigger
all right?
warning or something.
As your sexual relationship progressed into January and February,
Yes.
did the sexual acts between you and Alex undergo a change from what they had been?
Yes.
Can you please tell us what that was?
Well, from what I said before, the more vanilla, it turned into what at times could be considered a BDSM relationship.
And what does BDSM mean?
BDSM is
Here we go.
bind, dominance, and it can be submissive or sadomasochist. It depends on what sector you're in, if it's submissive, dominant, or sadomasochism.
Okay, I'm going to ask you this with respect to Alex. Okay.
Yes.
Have you heard in respect to BDSM what a safe word is?
Yes.
What is a safe word?
In a BDSM relationship,
Something
a safe word is
NK
essentially,
obviously
it's one of the
didn't
most
know
important
to
parts of the
use. That's
relationship,
why
I
she's
consider.
got a
It's
bald
when
spot.
in an act, when something is getting too much for you or one of the partners or the submissive. And a safe word is something that individual can say when it's just too much and it's time to stop.
In sexuality, first of all, with regard to Alex, what role did you play, the dominant or the submissive?
I took the role of submissive.
And in that role, did Alex and you have a safe word?
I suggested it, but we did not agree and we did not have a safe word. No.
Why didn't you agree? What did Alex tell you with respect to not having a safe word?
He didn't prefer a safe word. He told me in our relationship that he didn't want that, essentially. It didn't play into kind of what he wanted to get out of the relationship.
And I'm going to ask you about some specific
Hey,
sexual
nonstop,
acts.
Mom.
First of all, I'm going to ask you about wax, or what's called wax play.
Wax play is when you use a candle or a wax-like substance and you drip or drain it onto your partner, the
That should
submissive.
have been their safety word.
Before you
nonstop,
referred to
Mom.
prone, and we only discussed prone in terms of you being face down, was there another aspect to what was called prone that eventually developed in your sexual relationship with Alex?
What eventually developed with this prone position is the desire for the submissive in this role to be in what is commonly called a chokehold, or to appear to be unconscious.
Was that something he did with you?
Yes.
Let me ask you, how is it that without a safe word, in your mind, did this connect at all with what Alex used to say to you about your flaws and vulnerability?
Yes.
Can you please explain that to us?
Without in an act like this, or in a sexual act without a safe word, it is hard for me as an individual to be vulnerable. I was uncomfortable with the idea of no safe word, and he demanded for me to be vulnerable in these times, and that was hard for me.
In addition to the wax and the chokehold thing you described, was there ever a time back in your relationship in January or February where Alex used a knife when having sex with you?
Yes, he had cut a pair of my pants that I had one day. It never went as far to touch or graze my skin. He just ripped through some holes that were already on my pants, and I threw them away after that.
What was your reaction to these things? The wax, the chokehold, the knife, that one occasion. What was your reaction to these?
My reaction, I was very supportive of his dominance at first. I wanted him to feel like he can express himself. And I was also exploring. With the wax, it was different and it was a bit strange for me at first, but it was fine. I found I had issues with the prone position and being in a chokehold from behind. I started to not enjoy that. It was really just not what I wanted. And I had voiced my opinion a few times. It wasn't with my alignment. The time he had cut my pants, he ripped through some holes already and he cut them. And I was a bit frustrated at the sense that, oh great, I have to throw some pants away now. But it made me a bit uncomfortable because it was so sudden and so new.
Well, let me just take you back to something you said because I want to follow up. You said you voiced your opinion.
Yes.
What did you say to him when?
Let me just say this. Don't be mad. Low key, I agree with Ezra. I'd be annoyed if somebody cut my pants and I had to throw my jeans away. I'd be mad. Okay, here we go.
You voiced your opinion.
When I voiced my opinion to him, I said to him, essentially in this prone position or in this position, that I was sore, that at times it was uncomfortable and it felt as if it was a bit bruising and constricting for me. It caused anxiety.
Hey, Vincent's missing here.
That you didn't like it.
Yes.
How did he respond to you?
Well, it was quite crude how he responded, but he would tell me that it wasn't fair that I had finished and he wasn't going to get his chance then.
So you're telling him you don't like this, to not do it. He's saying it's unfair, I didn't get to finish. What would happen is, either during, after, before those conversations?
During the conversation, he would express how he thought it was unfair he didn't get to finish because he spent so much time for me. And I would just essentially not completely shut down, but just say, all right, and just let it go. Just let it happen.
So you would let him complete what he wanted to do?
Yes.
Even when you didn't feel like it?
Yes.
Oh, boy.
I'm showing you from Exhibit 697, an essay called Between Love and Obligation.
Yes.
What's the date on that?
December 3rd, 2017.
Is the type version the same as the handwritten?
Yes.
This essay, does it begin with him talking about love and do as you will?
Yes.
And as this essay continues, does he?
Exactly, Max 2002. Exactly. Do you know how long it takes to get the right pair of jeans and then break them in just right? You don't be messing with people's jeans. But that's the only part I agree with. The rest of it, I'm just rolling my eyes. I rolled my eyes so hard, I saw Alice's brain. Here we go.
He talk about love and do as you will. I'm not going to have you read it, but is there continued
Yeah, don't
discussion
make
about
her
what it
read it.
means?
Lord knows
Yes.
she can't read.
Does he
Let
specifically
me slow her down just a
mention
skosh. She's a
there is
little-
love
she's
and
a
do
little
as you
hype
will.
for
Don't
me.
worry about self-control. Be excessive if you want to. There is nothing you ought to do. Anything goes.
Yes.
Did he discuss that with you?
Yes.
What did he mean by that?
What he meant by that, because there's the original love and do as you will, but when he says it, it was his way of saying, this is what I mean when I say this to you. This is what I mean when I say love and do as you will.
So in other words, in your intimate relationship with Alex, would he express a divergence from the philosophical love as you do with will to the personal love and do as you will?
Yes.
Sustained leading.
Okay, what did he express about how love and do as you will meant to him personally in your relationship?
What he told me in our relationship is that there is going to be times when he's going to take control. There's going to be times when he's demanding certain things, and love and do as you will, as he would say, is the reason why he's able to do this, because he will do as he will. It was his way of saying, I'm going to do this, and love and do as you will, he would say.
I'm showing you the sentence that's near the very end of this essay on the page that begins with the word merely.
Yes.
Can you please read that sentence?
Merely doing as one will sexually makes consent irrelevant, but merely letting another do as they will does the same.
All right, this issue about consent being irrelevant by doing as he would.
Yes.
you aware of this sentence in his journals before the sexual acts became, in January and February, things you were uncomfortable with?
Yes, it was a conversation we had in detail.
And how did you feel about this line about consent being irrelevant?
Well, as I was reading this essay and we're discussing, yet again, love and do as you will, I pointed it out and I told him that I felt completely the opposite of this. I come from a point of when consent is everything, like consent, 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 each step of the way. And this, for me, was a first red flag.
I'm showing you a very short essay
Yes,
called Resolution, written on January 1st, 2108.
yes, I'm familiar.
Okay. And is the typed version the same as the handwritten version?
Yes,
All right. Can you read that essay?
I need to be more selfish. My relationships have failed because I couldn't ask for what I wanted or needed. I love people who are hurting, but I am too. To find anything that will last, I need to find a way to be selfish. Oddly, I need to find resoluteness in this resolution. Selfishness needs to find a place in my values.
So as he started to take and do what he wanted sexually,
Yes,
and you were protesting,
yes,
did you think about this essay where he had said this at all?
yes, I had. I thought about it often.
And I'm going to show you one last essay now, and I think we're going to be done with the essays
Okay.
at that point. Now, I'm showing you, again, another essay. What's the title of this essay?
The title of this essay is Faith in Flesh, February 2nd, 2018.
And again, is the typed version the same as the handwritten version?
Yes.
And I'm going to ask you about a specific paragraph that's kind of in the middle of this essay. Can you read this paragraph?
Yes. Next, the other may demand that I not die. They may demand that I not commit self-sacrifice. This may be because they enjoy my self-mutilation, or because they refuse to carry the guilty of my guilty flesh. In both cases, my duty is to feed is complicated. For to give purely is suicide.
For to give purely suicide, go ahead.
Violence against another, to provide for this demanding
Okay, wait.
other.
I'm sorry, I
Did I
think you
miss a
skipped a line.
sentence?
1 minute. For to give purely to suicide.
Can involve a cessation of violence, but it is the obligation to not die oddly. I must commit violence against another to provide for this demanding other. This forces me to murder. In order to provide, I am doing it either way. This demanding other has taken my redeeming suicide from me and doomed me to tortuous guilty.
Okay. So when you saw that Alex had written about murder in his journal, did this stand out to you in any way?
Yes, this essay did stand out to me.
Okay, I'll ask you more about that later. I'm going to go back to talking to you about Jason,
All right.
right?
Yes.
This relationship's developing with Alex,
Yes.
and as this is going on, what's going on with you and Jason?
As our relationship with Alex and I developed, the rift between me and Jason in the distance furthered. It seemed as if we were more roommates and just living together than we were girlfriend and boyfriend anymore.
What were you thinking about doing with respect to your relationship with Jason?
I was thinking about leaving, ending it, breaking up.
Now, you heard Jenna Van Zant testify before,
Yes.
and I believe that I'm showing you what's been marked previously as exhibit number 405 and entered in evidence. Is this a copy of texts that went between you and Jenna Van Zant?
Yes.
And what did you say to Jenna Van Zant in that text?
Would you like me to read it exactly?
Or you can summarize it or read it, either way.
In summary, I was expressing that I needed more boundaries, that I was feeling mistreated, and the relationship was unhealthy. There was no communication, miscommunications, and that I need to talk to him about these things, and I might need to leave.
Well, in the beginning, you say, I'm realizing I'm finally brave enough to talk to Jason. to
Yes.
talk. Did you also refer in this to breaking up with him?
Yes. Yes.
And did you talk about how other people were telling you about your relationship with Jason?
Yes, a lot of my friendships I had at races, I would tell them examples and things that were going on between me and Jason. And my friends at the time, they were telling me that this is unhealthy and damaging and you need to get out of this.
Did you talk about him specifically name calling you?
Yes, he had called me names. In this, I said specifically, he called me retarded, one of the most offensive things to me.
Okay. Now, on this day, on February 5th, was this right before you, in fact, did break up with Jason?
I believe so, yes.
I'm just going to briefly diverge
All right.
into something else. Well, let me just say this. Eventually, did you also break up with Alex?
Yes.
Did you break up with the two of them in the same month?
Yes.
So which breakup was first?
Jason.
And how long after breaking up with Jason, approximately how long? I know you don't have a calendar. Did you break up with Alex?
Not long after, a few weeks or so, maybe a month.
During this time, did you also spend some time with a fellow named John Hansen?
Yes, I had.
How did you know him?
He was my friend through Jason.
And being your friend through Jason, did you have any interest in John Hansen?
Yes, at the time I did have some interest in John Hansen.
Would the word crush express that, or what word would you use?
I had developed a crush, yes.
When Jason went out of town, well, so you were spending some time with John Hansen. Did you know of a friendship between John Hansen and Alex as well?
I was well aware of their friendship, yes.
And Phyllis, did they discuss philosophies as far as you knew?
Yes, they discussed philosophy all of the time.
Do you know if specifically they discussed a philosophy called nihilism?
Yes.
Section relevance.
Overruled. Go ahead.
Did they? Okay, go ahead.
Yes, that was a topic all three of us had discussed together all the time.
And when discussing nihilism, what did Alex Woodworth say that it meant to him?
What Alex Woodworth expressed to me about nihilism is that it's a kind of take all. It's going against the norms of society, and it's a very, in a lot of ways, it's kind of a pessimistic nihilism. It's a very different view of life than I had at the time.
What about John? Did he express similar things to you?
Objection,
Yeah.
relevance.
I'm going to sustain that. Again, it's what's in Ms. McCandless. It's in her mind. So sustain in that.
Now, when Jason went out of town, John Hansen and you, had you done some drawings, paintings, or anything like that?
Yes, we had been hanging out quite a bit, doing art together.
When Jason went out of town, did something happen with you and John Hansen?
Yes.
What happened?
What happened between me and John is that he bought some wine for us, and I had gone over to his house to talk about what's going on between me and Jason and Alex and what's really going on. And I hadn't really eaten anything that day, and I started to drink a lot of wine. And I had ultimately become severely drunk to the point of throwing up and blacking out a few times.
So is it fair for me to say when you say blacking out a few times, do you mean that you were in and out of consciousness?
Yes.
Does it also mean that you have a hard time recovering some of what happened that evening?
Yes.
Is there something specific sexually, though, that you do recall about that evening?
Yes.
What is that?
Specifically, I remember it being dark and waking up, and I could clearly feel that I was in a sexual act, that someone was having sex with me.
Did you know who that person was?
Yes, it was John.
The next day, did John, so let me ask you this sexual act, did you resist him at all?
No, I just let it happen.
The next day, in the morning, what happened?
In the morning, he told me to go to his son's room and wait until he got up so that his roommate wouldn't suspect that I was in his bed. And
Did you eventually go back home?
yes, he drove me back to my apartment.
When he drove you back to your apartment, did he come in?
Yes, he did.
And
Hey,
what
everybody,
happened once you were inside
just
the
coming in.
Once we were in the side,
Good
the
to see y'all.
apartment, he
Glad
had said
you're
that he had to
here.
go to the bathroom. So I went upstairs to change out of my clothes from the night before, and he came into my room with me. And
Trigger
This is hard.
warning.
he just started undoing his belt and said that I looked great and proceeded to ask me and lead me to perform sexual acts with him.
And again, did you resist him at all?
No,
Did you tell him, no, I don't want to do this?
I didn't say much of anything, so no, I did not.
Now, after that incident with John Hanson, was it shortly after that that you left Jason's apartment and broke up with Jason?
Yes,
Where did you move when you left his apartment?
I moved to my mother's.
Who helped you move?
Alex helped me move.
Had you previously introduced Alex to your family, or at least to your mother?
A few times he met my family, yes, at races.
And had Alex also come over to the office that your mom worked in one time?
Yes, I invited him to come help peel some wallpaper from the office.
When Alex came over to your families, did even after helping you move back home, was he invited back another occasion?
Yes.
And who did he spend time with on that occasion?
On that occasion, he spent time with me and my mother.
Anybody else?
Yes.
Who?
My sister and my dad, my stepdad,
And what's your stepdad's name?
James Gunnelson.
Okay. After you moved out, were you still seeing Jason at all? Well, first of all, when you moved out, was Jason in town or out of town?
He was out of town.
And were you still seeing him at all? Was he still your boyfriend?
He wasn't my boyfriend, no, but we were still texting. Things were confusing between us.
During this period, how did Jason come to know about John Hanson? Or did he come to know is, I guess, what I should say.
He did, yes.
How do you know how he came to know about it?
I do know. He had wanted to spend some time with me in Eau Claire, so he rented a hotel room for us. And after a night together, I woke up to him going through my phone. And there had been some text messages.
I just want to back up there a second. When you say your phone, was it actually a phone or a different device?
No, I never use a real phone. I always use an iPod, which I've been using for a while when I'm connected to Wi-Fi. So I'm pretty disconnected otherwise.
Okay. And in fact, there was a phone found in your car on
Yes.
after March 22nd when the police found that. Was that phone functional?
I don't know because I never paid the bill. I got it for just a little while for work, and then I just stopped using it altogether. So it ran out of minutes, of course, so no, it was not functional.
Okay. Let me get back to this whole issue about Jason going through your iPod. What happened when he went through your iPod?
When he had gone through my iPod, there was a few text messages that were flirtatious between me and John that I had not deleted. Jason woke me up and he had screenshotted my text messages. He was pretty angry and he even broke my iPod in this anger.
And when he broke your iPod during this anger, did he do anything else to you?
Yes, during this conversation we were having, a little argument, he threw my iPod to the floor after reading these text messages to me. He pushed me down on the bed and told me I couldn't leave until this was resolved.
Did Jason place a phone call to anyone?
Yes, he had called John.
During this conversation, were you able to hear the entire conversation?
I was right with him the entire time.
Were you asked to talk to John during this conversation?
Yes,
Who asked you to do that?
Jason asked me to speak with John.
And did Jason say something to John about having sex with you?
Yes, he asked him if he had had sex with me, and John responded that he had not.
And do you know why Jason made you talk to John on the phone?
He made me speak with John on the phone so that he could listen to our conversation and see if he would change his story.
And during that conversation, did John acknowledge that he had had sex with you?
Yes,
And had you acknowledged that to Jason?
yes,
When you talked to Jason about this,
yes.
John having sex with you,
Yes.
did you express at all that you thought it was a rape, or did you ever use that word?
No,
Did you ever use the word?
Want me to have some water?
Yeah, that's,
Okay, why don't we just hang on just a second?
of course.
What's that? Okay, go ahead.
Did you use the word assault when you talked to Jason?
it was not a word I had used. No.
After he had talked to John on the phone, did he take you over to Josh Trankler's?
Yes, he did take me to Josh Trankler's after this.
Okay, who's Josh Trankler?
He's a friend of ours, a friend we share. Yes.
What happened? I just want to make sure everybody's okay. What happened when Jason took you over to Josh Trankler's?
Well, after I had told him roughly what had happened the night between me and John, Jason got just full of rage. He was pacing and he told me he was going to do something to John, that he was going to kill John, that we needed to go somewhere to talk to somebody with a level head. So he had taken me to Josh's house.
When he got to Josh's, was Jason acting like he had a level head?
No.
What was he doing?
Jason went upstairs with Josh and he would pace downstairs and he was just pacing all over the house. He was yelling at Josh essentially, and he was very hot-headed at that time. He was very angry.
When you were downstairs, could you hear him upstairs?
Yes.
And as a result of all of the screaming and yelling that
Yes.
Jason was doing, to your knowledge, how did you know that, or did you know how Josh Trankler responded?
Yes, I do. He called the police because he was concerned as what Jason might do to John.
When the police got there, did they ask to speak to you?
Yes, they did.
What did you tell them?
The police were directed to me by Jason and Josh to talk to them, and I didn't really want to talk in this place where everybody was angry and hot-headed, so they asked me if I'd like to go back to the station to talk, and I said yes.
Now, you've been in court and you heard the tape of you talking to Officer Vang.
Yes.
Was everything you said on that tape true?
Yes.
You also heard testimony about you talking to Detective Prock.
Yes.
And essentially, in so many words, did you tell Detective Prock essentially the same things that you told Officer Vang about the sex with you and John?
Yes.
Did you ever use the word assault or rape when you were talking with Detective Vang or Detective Prock?
No.
Did somebody bring up the word assault or something similar to you?
Yes.
Who was that who brought that up and defined what you told them or informed you that this is an assault?
Objection relevant.
Sustained.
I would like to approach.
All right.
Yeah, she should approach.
Objection is sustained.
Mr. Judge, I withdraw the question
Okay.
after hearing from Mr. DeFeo. So,
How about the person who is choking? Are they a jury member? Can they not get up and get out? This is very rude.
did you inform Detective Prock when you were meeting with him that you had been flirting with John?
Yes, I told him about that.
Okay. And did Detective Prock and Officer Fang give you some literature after you met with them?
Yes. Well, after I met with Vang, there were some individuals that they provided me with a folder full of pamphlets to get help and counsel during a tough time like this.
Did you go to counseling?
Yes, I did.
All right. Now, I'm going to move from talking about that to talking about the period of this happening. First of all, before this happened, where Jason was looking at your iPod,
Yes.
did you break off with Alex before that occurred?
Yes.
Do you remember time-wise how recent it was before Jason looked at your iPod?
It was briefly before approximately.
Like a day or two? Is that what you mean by briefly?
Yes.
Okay. And so I'm going to ask you some questions now about that period between
All right.
you moving back home, breaking off with Jason, then breaking off with Alex. First of all, why
Yes.
did you break off with Alex? Let me ask you that first.
I broke off with Alex because during this time there was so much going on and he wanted my love and vulnerability, and at that time I wasn't ready for a relationship. I felt there was just so much going on. I wasn't even sure if I wanted to work on my previous relationship yet. I wasn't ready.
And during this period, what were you doing generally with your life? You said you were living with your mother, I believe,
Yes.
right? And living with your mother, were you working or what
Yes,
was
I
going
was.
on with your life?
So I moved back home with my mom and I applied to a school that I graduated from. And I started soon after working as a paraprofessional in the kindergarten through fourth grade special education room.
And besides working, were you talking much with your Jason during that time?
Yes, I was.
What were your feelings or your thoughts about Jason during this time in March?
During this time, lots of feelings of love from the love we had when we first started a relationship, memories from when we first started. Just being away from him made me miss him, and I was feeling again a lot of that love.
Were you texting about that?
All of the time, yes.
Was Jason reciprocating your texts?
Yes.
Did there, in the middle of March, did you go to Eau Claire and spend any time with Jason?
Yes.
Just tell us about that briefly.
I went and I spent some time with Jason. We had started sleeping with each other again and talking about possibly maybe getting counseling, thinking about all the things we had said to each other in the past, just seeing if maybe this really needed to work out because of how much we did love each other.
And when you said you started sleeping with him,
Yes.
where did you spend some time, a couple of nights with him or anything in Eau Claire?
Yes, I spent a couple of nights with him. We got a few hotel rooms. We didn't really want to be at the apartment.
After spending a couple of nights with Jason, do you recall what time that was? Was it like the date? Do you have any memory of what the exact dates were?
I have no memory of the exact dates, no.
Okay. Did you return after spending a couple of nights to Jason's to your mother's house?
I did, yes.
And what happened when you got back to your mom's?
Well, my mom
She
wasn't
worked in a special
supportive of
education
me
classroom
continuing
for
or
a minute.
exploring the idea of rekindling the relationship I had with Jason. And me being her child, and she was my mom, we got into an argument. Of course, I knew what I wanted, and she disagreed, so I moved out after that.
Okay. Let me ask you then about going, so did your mom feel the same way about Alex that she felt about Jason in terms of what she expressed to you?
She had some mixed feelings about Alex as well.
And when you broke up with Alex, how did you break up with him?
I regretfully broke up with him through text.
Why did you do it through text?
I did it through text because I did it in a rushed way. I just wanted to just be done with all of this drama.
Okay. We'll come back to talking about you and Alex later, but I'm going to ask you, after your mother was upset with you because you were
Yes.
saying Jason and asked you to leave, where did you go?
I went to my dad's.
And is that your father, Joe Shane Carlin, who we saw in court?
Yes,
All right. What is your father's main employment?
he's a correctional officer.
And besides his correctional officer primary,
Yes,
does he have a do-it-yourself or a secondary business that he owns?
he has a tree cutting business that I helped name when I was about 5.
Did you work with him at that tree cutting business?
All of the time, yes.
And when you worked with him, did you use knives at all?
It was a part of every day.
When he, in addition to knives and the tree cutting service, did your father, I'm going to call him your father, he's your adoptive father.
Yes, he's my father. He's my dad.
Did he give you or let you have other knives in your car?
Yes, he seemed to always give me one or want me to have one in different places.
There's been discussion here about the knife that that you used, or the knife that was in your car that the police
Yes.
found by the side of the road, the knife that was involved in the knife fight with you and Alex. And
Yes.
was that, and how did you get that knife?
Objection, Your Honor, to
Mr. Stain,
characterization.
argumentative.
Okay, the knife we're talking about, how did
Yes.
you get that knife?
That knife was a knife that my dad had given me. He always likes to make sure I'm prepared for every situation. So various EMT knives he would give to me to break glass. It has seatbelt cutters. He just wants me to be prepared. It had been in and out of the house. He has a few of them, yes.
And that particular knife, did you put it in your car on the morning of March 22nd?
No,
Do you know when you put it in your car?
no, it was in and out always.
Okay. What would your dad,
Wait a
specifically
minute.
with
Wait
the
a
use of
minute.
knives,
Wait
what
a
would your father
minute.
tell you about
Hold
that?
on,
Objection.
please. Yeah,
Hearsay.
Mr. Stain,
I'm objecting
Judge,
too. Okay. Here's the deal. If you're keeping a knife in your vehicle because you are, I think that, I don't know if I never did Girl Scouts. I don't know what their motto is. I know the Boy Scouts motto is always being prepared. Okay. If you're always, why would you, as being somebody who's always prepared, why would you remove the knife from your vehicle? You know, it's sort of like a gas can. You keep a gas can in your vehicle. The only time you remove the gas can is if you were to run out of gas and you remove it from your vehicle to go get gas, right? Or jumper cables, right? You keep jumper cables in your vehicle. You only remove the jumper cables from the vehicle when your battery is dead and you need to use the jumper cables, but then you return those items to your vehicle as part of your always being prepared for whatever. Okay, so why is the knife in and out of the vehicle? This makes no sense, Ezra, but please continue.
Goes to her state of mind, not the truth of the matter asserted. Let me rephrase
right,
the question. Maybe
okay.
it'll be more clear. Did your father ever say anything to you about having a knife in your car specifically for defending yourself?
Objection, hearsay.
well, it's not offered for the truth.
No.
The matter is sort of just for what is in her state of mind, so
Correct.
I'll overrule the objection.
Okay.
Yes.
What did he tell you, or what do you recall him telling you?
What I recall my dad telling me, he told me many times, and he would always tell me when you're in a situation with an individual or if someone's attacking you, that you need to do anything and everything you can to get away, to defend yourself. And he would tell me about, you can use knives, you can scratch, you can kick, you can fight.
Can use your keys.
Were you aware that there were firearms in his house?
Well aware.
Did you know where they were located?
Always, yes, he made me aware of this.
Were you able to have access to them?
Yes,
Did you learn how to use firearms when you were young?
of course, he made sure of that.
Did you go hunting with your father?
I never hunted, but I've gone hunting many times.
Now, did you take a firearm with you when you left your father's house on the morning of March 22nd?
Absolutely not.
Why not?
All I was doing that day was going for some errands. There was no need for a weapon or a firearm or anything of that sense.
Was one of those errands that you were going to do on March 22nd, in your mind, was one of the things you wanted to do to talk to Alex?
Yes,
And so did you want to bring a gun with you to talk to Alex?
absolutely not.
Were you afraid of Alex?
No.
All right. I'm going to ask you some specific communication that you had received on the evening of March 21st. Were you sent a picture on Instagram by Jason?
Yes, I was.
And that's a picture we've seen. That's an evidence of the bathroom wall.
Yes, it is.
After you received that picture, what did you do?
Well, I wasn't happy about it.
Did you have then a voice conversation with Jason
Yes, I did call
in
him.
addition to texting?
Yep.
And when you saw that picture, did you have some thoughts in your mind about who had written your phone number and, F me on the bathroom
Yes.
wall?
I had some ideas. I thought it was either a barista or maybe some of the kitchen boys, as they're called.
What do you mean by kitchen boys?
Kitchen boys, well, that's what they call the workers who work in the kitchen side of Racy Dell Lanes, which is called the nucleus. Just a bunch of guys.
Like cooks, chefs?
Cooks, chefs.
Did you, in your mind, did you think Alex had written it?
No.
It
Your
was,
Honor, then I'm going to object to this whole line of questioning as not being relevant.
well, the state brought this in for some reason. I think her state of mind about it.
I'm
was
going to
important.
relate.
Thank you. Were you planning to mention it to Alex?
Yes, I was.
What was your intent with telling Alex about this?
My intent with telling Alex about this was just to ask him, like, how do you think they got my number? It kind of sucks that this is going on. There's a lot of drama. Do you know who might be doing it? So I could ask him that this isn't right. Can you stop, please?
All right. Before, in the period of time where
Okay, we're going to need to
You were
take a
at
short
home.
pause.
Yes.
Please hold.
in March, were you
All right. So we have a situation where somebody has written her phone number in or on the in the bathroom, on the bathroom wall, however you want to put it, basically essentially with the message, for a good time call. Okay. So your intention was to find out who did it so that you could then go and say, please, would you please stop doing this, or stop doing this, please? You're going to ask. Come on, Ezra. Who handles it that way? Come on. Like, let's be honest. Let's all just be real for a minute. If somebody did that to you and you found out who it was that did it, would you confront them and then say to them, could you stop doing this, please? Or would you confront them and say, you better knock this shit off right fucking now? Come on. This is why the jury is side-eyeing you, Ezra, because it's an unrealistic reaction. The honest reaction is what I just said. Knock this shit off, right? Ridiculous. Nobody would blame you for that reaction. See, this is why there's just...
Are you writing any journals?
Yes, I was.
I'm showing you what's been marked as exhibit number 365.
Yes.
And what's the title of that journal?
This journal is Ezra McCandless, Silence Broken.
I'm also showing you what's been marked as 366. Is there a title on that journal?
There's no title, but it's called Journal 2.
Low-key, that necklace that the lawyer's wearing looks like a weapon. That's
Over
all.
what period of time were you writing these two journals?
It was a period of a couple of weeks. I had been visiting someone for counseling, and they told me maybe to write down
Objection, hearsay.
Sustained.
Why were you writing the journals?
to express how I felt about everything.
And were you doing it specifically because you were trying to have this be part of the therapeutic process for you?
Yes.
All right. So there's been some testimony about these journals being edited on March 21st.
Yes.
Did you open the journals on March 21st?
Yes. Over the period of weeks, I had finished it couple weeks before, but as a writer, you always open it to correct misspellings, alignment of paragraphs. Every time I open it, it adds that it's been seen or edited.
Was this journal in a format called Google Docs?
Yes,
And in Google Docs, every time you open a document, does it update the date?
it does, yes.
Okay. Did you, you've reviewed these journals, right?
Of course, yes.
And were you going to send them to a friend named Julia Post?
Yes, I had sent them to her already.
And what was the purpose of doing that?
The reason why I spent time with a few weeks before and why I had sent them to her is she's great with grammar and she's great with words. So she was helping me out. She was kind of my consult for cleaning it up.
Okay, I'm going to put this now on the Elmo. We're not going to read everything, but I'm just going to ask you in this journal what you're talking about and why, just in
You
summary form.
correctly.
All right,
So
Hold
just to
on a
summarize,
minute. Oh,
this
for
part of the
Pete's
journal,
sake.
when you're talking,
Okay. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but a journal, right, is essentially, it's fancy, more mature, if you will, for diary, right? It's where you journal your thoughts, your feelings, your deepest thoughts, your innermost thoughts, right? It's how you work through stuff. What would you need an editor for? Also, side note, Google will edit it for you. Google has a feature that will correct the spelling and the grammar, Miss Ma'am. So you didn't need to send it to anybody. For Pete's sake. There's a whole app for that. And look, I get that this, happened a few years back. Okay. But this is not new technology, for Pete's sake. Cheese and rice, Ezra. You're literally extra AF in the most annoying way ever. I enjoy people who are extra, but your brand of extra, no. Okay, let's go.
talking about moving back, it was the past summer and you had moved. Where had you been before the summer you moved back with your parents?
The summer before I moved back with my parents was spent in Marinette, Wisconsin, and that's where I was starting my first year of secondary school.
Okay, so after your first year so secondary school for you, does that mean, are you referring to college?
Yes.
Okay, just some people call secondary school high school, so I just
Right.
wanted to clarify
College.
that. Okay, and so
Yeah.
after your first year of college,
Most people
are you
that
telling us
that
you're
are
going back
living
home?
in this
Yes, I
century
am.
refer
All right.
to it that
now,
way.
when you went back home, did you then write in your journal about your relationship with Jason Mangle?
Yes, I did.
You use this sentence: months have passed between us and love had grown. It's an ancient love so powerful, it often scared both of us. I became sick and had the suspicion of what it could be. So what do you mean when you're writing in those passages?
What I mean by, as I said in there, an ancient love so powerful. Many times between me and Jason, our own philosophical discussions, we talk about past loves, being old spirit. We both consider ourselves, even though I'm young, to be very, very old spirits. So
Is that expression people use sometimes? Oh, he or she's an old soul?
yeah, all the time, all
Okay.
the time. He would describe me as his old soul. So as saying that this love, this passion, this love, it was just, we felt so much love and so much in common with each other right away that's just how I express that.
In the essay, did you go on to talk about your abortion?
Yes, I had.
And did you express how the abortion impacted your relationship with Jason Mango?
I expressed how it impacted us greatly, yes.
Okay. And did you then write in this journal about you said in this journal that you became, I think the word is,
If I
a
was
husk
a
of a
juror, I
woman.
would stage a
Yes.
straight up walkout.
And what did you mean
by
by
all
that?
12 of us?
What I meant by that is after the operation and after everything that had happened, I felt like a part of myself had been taken away. I felt hollow inside.
You then start talking about two individuals invading your empty mind,
Yes.
dragging you down a rabbit hole, told what ideas to follow, masks you should wear. Can you explain what you meant when you wrote about that?
Yes. So during this incredible, vulnerable time when I had terminated my pregnancy, the two dominant voices I'm speaking of here are friends, Alex and John Hansen. I was talking about in this how during my vulnerable state, I was being told kind of how to feel, how to get over things, what to do, just kind of I describe it as a mask, just kind of how to move past this in ways they thought might help or what I should do, they thought.
So this is your feelings then, but as you were going through this, you talked about developing feelings of love for Alex.
Yes.
So in here you're expressing it completely differently.
Yes.
Why the difference?
The difference is coming out of the
I
relationship.
don't want you to look at this. I just want
Okay.
you to talk about how you feel.
All right. So coming out of the relationship, in that relationship, I felt all of this love and this warmth and listening to him and him telling me what I should do and what I should think, essentially. In that moment, all I felt was that love. That's all I could notice. And then being completely removed from a relationship, and from that relationship, I noticed all of the red flags or things that really didn't fit right with me, and that it's opposite now because I'm expressing what I had ignored because of love.
Let me ask you this. Okay?
Yes.
In this,
Yes.
without putting on the screen, you wrote, I was an object even called fetish. And that it horrified you to be described as a fetish. Can you tell me what you mean by that?
What I meant by that in this essay, or journal as you can call it, was that the person I had loved at that time, where instead of just being me and wanting to be seen as me, they started to express how I was a fetish to them, how I identified, how I looked, what they wanted from me. Instead of essentially being Ezra McCandless, the person, I was just the want, the fetish, the sexual aspects.
Is that how you felt at that time in your relationship with Alex?
Yes.
And you talk about what happened with John and vomiting and
Yes.
fears. And then you also then talked to that you had turned to your other friend for advice and concerns.
Yes.
And what do you mean by that? You would turn to your other friend. What were you writing about?
I had talked about in there turning to my other friend, being Alex, about what had happened between me and John.
And you said that when you turned to Alex, you wrote, you said, guilt towards our friendship only to once again for it to turn to his desires of making me the boy he wanted. What did you mean by that?
When what had happened between me and John had happened, I quickly, shortly after, I went to go talk to Alex. I told him my fears about what had happened, the confusion, the kind of the betrayal aspect of it. And during that time, when I went over to his house to see him, he just kind of told me, well, I can make you forget it. You can sleep with me. We can spend some time together. Let me make you forget.
What you wrote in your journal after that was, quote, it was painful. And I often said, stop,
Yes.
I can't. And then you wrote bit, but I think you mean but he would then
Yes.
change the position and proceed to say, I'm fine and just too sensitive. Earlier, you talked about your sex with Alex, talking about you're fine,
Yes.
that he should finish. Is that what you're referring to in this journal?
Yes. And I was referring to, yes, the sensitive, feeling bruised. I was referring to that, yes.
And at the end of the journal, you have a section called What is Next?
Yes.
What are you talking about in the What is Next section? Do you need me to put it up on the screen for you to refresh your memory?
Sure.
Okay. Put that section. Okay, so just again, I don't want you to read the whole thing, but
I'm refreshed, yes.
okay, so let me ask you this. When you're talking about this in this section about what is next, what are you talking about in this journal?
What I'm talking about in this journal, there were sections of this in this journal going through my relationship, my loves I had. And in this what is next is I was writing about, like, what am I going to do next? What can I become? I felt that my opportunities are endless. I can keep pursuing the career I want. Very inspired by a conversation I had with my father and how I can take a course of action for myself. I can become who I am.
When you said I betrayed the one I love in many ways and felt nothing but regret and pain, knowing how far I lost myself, you put that in there.
Yes, I had.
And were you talking about how you were going to change that, or what were you talking about?
When I was talking about that, not that I was going to change the betrayal and the feelings of guilt, is that just acknowledging that this had happened. I'm not going to hide from what I had done. And I acknowledge the fact that my partner at that time was deeply hurt, and I can recognize that and acknowledge it.
You ended this with writing, I cannot hurt myself anymore. I cannot hurt the ones I love. I
Yes.
can become Ezra McCandless again. I am worth it. What did you mean by that?
What I meant by that is there was so much going on in the past months. There was drama, there was loss, and there was pain, and there was love. And I've stepped back and I recognize all of it. I recognize that I am worth it as a person. I can be what I want to be. I can do what I want to do. As in career-wise, as an artist, I can just express myself and embrace that it's time for a change.
Let me ask one thing. In this journal, and I'm trying to find the line.
Yes.
And I think Mr. You, okay. The part about what is next, you talked about being inspired by your dad. Did you write the whole paragraph, what is next? Or was that just a feeling you're having? I'm a little confused. The whole paragraph at the end, what is next?
Yes, I wrote it. Yes.
I know you wrote it, but did you
Yes.
write that whole paragraph that night? Or did you
No,
write
no,
earlier?
it kind of corroborated the fact that I can do this. I am worth it. He helped me embrace that feeling more with our talks.
Okay. And you also, and I'm not going to dwell on it, but you also
Yes.
wrote what's called Journal 2.
Yes.
What's Journal 2? What are you writing about in Journal 2?
In Journal 2, it was more of a reflection of the guilt, the pain, the relationship issues I had. It was kind of disconnecting myself from another in a relationship and looking at that, reflecting on that and how I felt about that at that time.
Is that Journal 2 much more specific to your relationship with Alex Woodward?
Yes.
Okay. And again, you end that with saying, I do not discount my part in the abuse. I do not feel innocent. Are you referring also with Jason when you say I do not feel innocent? Who are you referring to?
I'm referring to all of it, to Jason, to all of my relationships at the time.
Okay.
My mother, my father.
Are you feeling that you're taking responsibility, or
Yes, very much so.
is that a theme in therapy? Was your, you know,
Yes.
that,
Objection.
Sustained.
were you wanting during this period of time to take responsibility for your own actions?
Very much so. I wasn't running from anything I've ever done. I was taking responsibility for my actions. And even if I didn't want to look at all of the ugly parts, I was going to do it because I have a responsibility to grow as a person. And that's a big step of that.
You ended that essay with, I know I can be human. I know I can be free. I know I can love. I know I can only strive to never do this again. What did you mean by that?
What I meant by that is to be more aware, to be more conscious of my relationships. What I meant by that is I can be human. I can express myself. I'm not hiding, and I'm not. Essentially, that was mostly about cheating and leaving someone for certain reasons.
Now, after you, did you send those journals to Jason Mangle?
Yes.
Did you want to show your journals to Alex and John?
Yes.
Objection, hearsay, or I'm sorry, leading.
I'm sorry, what?
Was there,
Leading.
okay, besides,
Sustained.
let me just rephrase the question. Besides giving the journals to Jason and Julia Post, did you want to go show these journals to anybody in person?
Yes, I wanted to discuss these in person and talk about it and show them. Yes.
Who did you want to show these journals in person to?
Alex and John, they're integral parts of the journal, so I thought they should be shown.
And of those two people,
Yes.
who was more important for you to do that with?
Alex.
Did you bring physical copies, or were you just going to look at it on your phone, or what were you going to do?
I didn't bring any physical copies. I have it always loaded up on my notes and in my Google, so there's really, if I want to read it to him or if I want to look at it, I can just pull it up.
So on the morning of March 22nd, did you come into town?
Yes, I did.
And when you came into town,
Yes.
I'm going to ask you about coming into town that day. All right?
I just need to add something here. Is this some like great value brand bootleg say anything maneuver on the part of Ezra McCandless? Because this doesn't make any sense to me. Why are we showing the journals? It's a little bit like you watch Say Anything and you're like, I don't have a boombox, so YOLO, I'm gonna go get my journals. What are you doing with your? I don't understand this thinking. I mean, if you want to apologize, right? First of all, you could have sent a text, you could have sent an email, you could have even used snail mail. But you were trying to have some weird bootleg, great value brand level Say Anything. I don't get it. All right, here we go.
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to show you what's previously
Oh,
admitted evidence as Exhibit
wonderful.
424.
They're
Can you
busting
see
out
this
the
from where you are?
diagrams.
Yes, I can see this.
Nobody
Okay.
can see that.
This is called the timeline of events on March 22nd. Do you remember this?
Yes, I do remember
All right.
this.
So when you first came into town, where did you go first when you drove into town?
First, when I drove into town, I went over to Alex's to see if he was even home yet. or
What
he
happened
was
when
home.
you got there?
I knocked on the door and nobody answered at all.
So when nobody answered, what did you do?
Just go to Racy's, continue on my day.
When you left there, I think you're saying you went to Racy's. What did you do when
Yes.
you got to Racy's?
When I got to Racy's, I got my favorite drink, a mocha,
Okay.
and I noticed my friend Max.
Before noticing Max, was Jason Mingle at Racy's?
Yes, he was out front smoking his usual cigarette, so we just kind of exchanged some quick words. It was brief.
Okay. You go in, you've seen the tape, you going in.
Yes, I have.
Okay. Then you walk up to the, what do you call that, the counter? It's the
Tell
bar.
it, Al-
Bar?
tell
Coffee
it,
bar?
Allie,
bar.
because
not a
it's
bar.
No.
Okay. So you walked up to the coffee bar and
Ridiculous.
you were
Yes.
just saying you talked to Max.
Yes.
What was your conversation with about Max?
Well, after I got my coffee with Max, I was just like, hey, I've got the painting I'd like to give you in my car. I'm in town today doing some errands. I was wondering if you'd want to do the art swap now.
Okay. So had you put the painting in your car, when you say you were in town to do errands, was that one of the errands that you were hoping to do on that day?
Yes.
So apparently, wasn't your original plan, first you'll talk to Alex and then you'll talk to Max and exchange
Yes.
paintings?
Objection leading.
That's Justine.
Okay, I'll
that
rephrase
was
it. What was your
hugely
plan
leading.
when you were coming in for the order in which you were planning to do things on that day?
Yes. So that day, first I was going to, I gathered my things and I put my painting in the car and I was going to go talk to Alex and get that done for the day. And then I was going to go to Racy's and see if I could find Max and do the paint swap. And then I was going to see, before I had to go home to watch my little brother now, I was going to switch over. I had a change of a mail address that needed to be handled.
Okay. So after seeing Max, what did you do?
After seeing Max, he was pretty excited that I had the painting for him. And he had this painting he described to me as a cosmic goat that I would really like. So we exchanged those paintings.
And during this period, there's a picture of your car at Racy's and then returning
Yes.
to Racy's. So what did
Yes.
you do after seeing Max?
After seeing Max.
Or after going to Max's house?
Oh, after going to Max's house, we talked for a little bit. He went inside, grabbed his paintings. We came back to Racy's and I dropped him off, gave him a hug.
Did you tell Max what your plan was
Yes.
after you were seeing him?
Yes.
What did you tell him?
I told him that I wanted to go over to Alex's house. There was a lot I have to talk about with everybody, and I definitely wanted to talk to him today.
All right. So let me just ask, why did you only have a brief exchange that morning with Jason when you saw him?
When I saw him, he seemed kind of occupied. I thought he was busy.
All right. Was that unusual to you?
No.
Okay.
We've had many times where we just pass.
When you left Racy's,
Yes.
after seeing, I think that at least they have your return to Racy's here at 11:13, right? Did you
Yeah.
stay at Racy's very long after you dropped Max off again?
No, I think I went to the bathroom and got ready to go.
And after using the bathroom, where did you go?
To Alex's.
Same route as before? Do you know the route you took?
I take a couple routes to get to Alex's. It was probably the one I take usually, just right over.
Okay. And when you got to Alex's house, what did you do?
When I got to Alex's house, I parked my car in the driveway and I left it running and I grabbed his heating pad and such, and I went up to the door and I knocked on it.
All right, let me ask you about the heating pad. Why did you have a heating pad with you?
I had a heating pad because I had some really awful menstrual cramps, and I was like complaining about it one day, and he's like, "Oh, here's a heating pad I never use. Why don't you use it?"
But specifically, maybe my question wasn't clear. Why on that day did you have the heating pad in the car with you, and why did you take it
Yes.
to Alex's house? That's what I'm
So when talking to an ex, it can always be awkward. It was my way of kind of having an icebreaker, a buffer to start a conversation.
Were you planning to do something with the heating pad?
Give it back to him, yes.
Were you also planning to retrieve anything from his house?
Yes, I was hoping that he still had a few clothing items, and possibly I left an antique cup there that I really liked.
Oh, it's an
I
antique
think
cup,
last week it
y'all.
was mentioned that The Little Prince, had he ever given you a book, The Little Prince?
He had given me 2 Little Princes.
What was the difference between the two of them?
The difference between the 2 Little Princes is that one was a kind of, I call it a children's style book. So it was in English and it was wide and large. And the other Little Prince he had given to me was a smaller version and it was in French.
Had you brought one of those copies previously back to Racy's?
Yes, I had.
Do you remember which one it was?
It was the large child's version, as I would call it.
So you go to Alex's house, you ring the bell. Are you afraid of him?
No,
What happens after you ring the bell?
I knock on the door and
Oh, you knocked on the door, not ring the bell? Hi.
yeah.
Okay.
It's not a
no bell.
Beastie Boys
Okay.
song. They didn't all
I knock on
switch
the door
places when
and
they
I
rang
hear
the
some
bell.
kind of shuffling
Calm down,
around, and I
lawyer,
noticed
lady.
his roommate kind of comes down the stairs and pops his head in, and then he's gone.
When you say his roommate, was this anyone you had ever met before?
We hadn't met, but I had seen him plenty of times. It was Dave.
Had you ever really talked to him though?
No,
All right, so he popped his
No.
head, and then what did he do after popping his head? That
kind
you
of.
could see?
Well, I seen that he just kind of
Oh no,
seemed
Heather,
like
are
he
you okay?
went and got Alex, and then he just kind of scurried off somewhere.
Was Dave Stodding dressed when he came to the door?
No.
Okay.
Oh boy, that face. So she left her antique cup at Alex's house. That's why she had to get it back. Hi, Dios mío. Okay, here we go. Antique cup.
You said you thought he got Alex. Why did you think that?
Because Alex came down shortly after.
And when Alex came down to the door, what happened?
Alex looked a little surprised to see me, and I said hi, and I was like, I have the heating pad and stuff for you. And he took it, and he was like, do you want to talk? And it was a quick exchange of words before we went upstairs.
Oh?
When you were going to see Alex,
Yes.
what are the things that you wanted to do or accomplish in having a conversation with him?
What I wanted to accomplish in having a conversation with Alex is that I abruptly broke off our relationship, which I felt was unfair. I thought it was immature, the fact I did it over text, first off. I just wanted to make sure he was okay and how he felt. And I just felt that he had the right to express himself fully
Jackie.
about how he felt our relationship was going, how things ended. Just wanted to check in with him.
The whole
Did you also want to talk
needing
to
to
him
get
at
the
all
cup
about-
makes so much more sense
didn't.
now because it was an
Yes,
antique.
I wanted to. I knew that because he was close friends with John that I wanted to ask him about. It was an apology, actually. I was like, I'm sorry if you have to talk to any investigators. I know this situation's uncomfortable, and I wanted to share to him about my counseling and writing I've been doing since it.
So with all these purposes in mind, you go up,
Yes,
you go inside with Alex. Where do you and Alex go?
we go to our usual spot, which is his bedroom, and I sit on his bed, and he's kind of milling about his room, and then he sits next to me, and we start talking.
Are you afraid of him at this time?
No.
What were you and Alex talking about?
Well, first I said my apology about, I'm sorry that if you're uncomfortable because of you might have to talk to an investigator, there's things going on. I also mentioned, I seen a photo with my name and not my name, but my number and some crude words. Do you have any ideas who might be doing this?
Are you referring to the Racy's bathroom?
Yes, I'm referring to the Racy's bathroom.
Okay, and so you tell him those things.
Yes.
And how does the conversation proceed from there?
The conversation proceeded from there. I was a bit tearful because I was expressing to him about how upset I was about what had happened and how I'd been seeing some help about this and how I was expressing myself, kind of writing, and I was telling him roughly how I felt.
Had you brought a knife into the room?
No.
There was some testimony that I think Jason Mingel said he noticed a knife in the room when he got there. Was that something you brought into the room?
No.
I don't believe there was any such testimony, number one.
I don't
There
recall any
was.
testimony to
Oh,
that effect.
okay. Maybe
There
that's-
was.
Did you bring a knife in the room with you at all?
No.
Jason did say
Okay,
that.
or- why not?
Objection, relevance.
Overruled. You can answer.
Okay. Why did you bring a knife up there with you?
Well, I didn't bring a knife up there because we were talking. We were spending time together. I don't see any reason for a knife at all.
All right. Did you, do you know how long this conversation was going on?
I never wear a watch. I'm bad at keeping track of time. So no, I don't.
At some point, as you're having this conversation, let me ask, what's the tone of the conversation between you and Alex as you're having this conversation in
The
this room?
tone of our conversation was somber, very solemn between us. We were both pretty quiet and soft spoken, and it was just a gentle conversation at that point.
And I think, did there's come a time where something interrupted that conversation?
Yes.
All right, Judge, do you want to take a lunch break now?
Well, I'm just kind of waiting to hear whether there's food. I'd like to go up until they're ready for the jury. We don't have any word yet. So as soon as we get word,
Okay,
we're going to break here real soon.
all right. All right, I asked you about an interruption and
Yes.
and you said there was an interruption.
Yes.
What did you hear that made you realize that somebody else was there?
What made me realize someone else was there is that I heard a ringtone very loudly, not far outside of the room we were in. I was like surprised by that, kind of taken back.
I think I forgot to ask you this. What had you done with your car when you had gotten over to Alex's house?
I left it running.
Why?
I often leave my car running because it's, I don't take care of my car like I should. And there's sometimes when if I don't leave it running for periods of time, it will just not start again. And I also didn't really think I was going to be there that long.
Were you afraid because your car's running, somebody might steal it?
No.
You should be.
It's an ugly car.
When you heard the ringtone, were you saying anything to the Alex about having Jason help him?
No.
Were you saying let him help you at all?
No.
Was Jason invited to come into the house?
So
No.
now
He just
all
let
of
himself
this is
in.
Jason's
All right,
fault?
so
Like,
had
I
you
don't
heard
like
a knock
Jason
at the
either,
door
but
or
come
a bell
on.
ring or anything like that?
No, I didn't even know the door had opened. He just kind of burst in.
Were you surprised, or let me rephrase that, what was your feeling or your emotion when you heard Jason's ringtone?
I was surprised and
Baby,
just kind
I
of,
know.
it shocked me. I was like, why did he just let himself in? Like, what's going on?
And when Jason all of a sudden shows up on the scene,
Yes.
was there any change that you saw in Alex's demeanor?
Yes.
Why don't you tell us what that was?
After Jason just let himself in into Alex's home, I could tell that Alex, he was no longer sitting next to me like he was. He stood up and
Oh,
he was
boy.
very, I call it being bristled, but he seemed on edge.
What conversation took place with Jason, you, and Alex in the room?
Jason kind of burst into the room and he was just using his hands a lot and he was saying, "What's going on? Is everybody okay?" And he was talking and I kind of stepped in and I said, "Everything's fine. We're just talking." And trying to calm him down, I said, "We're fine. We can talk in a public place."
Who suggested public place?
Kind of all did. We came to this conclusion that we should go somewhere public.
Was there something to be afraid of that was going to happen in the bedroom?
No.
Were you concerned about what Jason might think that you were in Alex's bedroom?
Yes.
And what was
Okay,
that?
hold on.
I knew that he'd
Hold on. Hold on. Now it's all coming together. All coming together. Okay. I don't know if you guys caught it, but about 20 minutes, 30 minutes, I don't even know, a while ago in the conversation or in the testimony, her and Jason were getting back together. They were texting, they were hanging out together, they were hooking up together. Now it's clicking. This is why Jason this is why he followed her. It had nothing to do with the fire in her eyes, the fact that she was the mother of dragons, or any of that crap. He was sorry. I should put a warning up. Yeah. It had nothing to do with that. It had to do with the fact that Jason and her were hooking up again on the low. And nobody wanted them and nobody knew about it but the two of them. This was the whole All-American Rejects song, Dirty Little Secret. That's what was happening. See, we've been through 11 billion freaking hours of testimony, and we're just now getting to the situation because the state never asked Jason about this, and they had to have known it. That's why he came in like a wrecking ball. He wanted to bust her. He thought she was cheating. Makes sense.
probably jumped to the conclusion, because that was our place where we talked, that he would assume that I had decided to sleep with him that day.
Had you decided to sleep with Alex on that day?
No.
I mean, you
So
cheated on
after
him.
this conversation with Jason, and again, is Alex showing any other reaction or any other part of that conversation?
He's, as I said, bristled. He's frustrated. He's a little, he started to get quiet, and I always see that as a sign that Alex isn't particularly very happy.
Who left the room first?
Jason.
After Jason left, what did you and Alex do?
I kind of looked at him and I said, well, I guess we both kind of were like, I guess we should go somewhere to talk.
All right. So did you and Alex leave the room?
Yes.
Where did you go?
We went downstairs and outside.
When you get downstairs and outside, what's going on?
I was so confused to see that there were police vehicles there. and Jason
Did you call the
was
police?
no,
Molson Manning, you're the
Did you know how the
best.
police happened to be there?
no. That's why it took me by surprise so much that all of a sudden there's these 2 police vehicles, there's police officers. I was just like, what's going on?
Did the police officers come and talk to you at all?
Yes, they did.
Do you remember anything about that conversation?
I do. Yes,
What do you recall?
I remember the usual police contact. They asked for my license and my name. They asked if everything was fine, and I said, "Yeah, we're going somewhere public to speak.
Vincent's
Everything's
missing
fine."
ear, oh my gosh.
I had no concerns.
How long did you talk with the police for?
It wasn't very long, no.
And when you were talking with the police, was there anything worrisome to you?
No.
After the police left, were there any words exchanged between you and Jason or Jason and Alex at all?
Yes, I had said a few things
Thanks,
to
you
Jason.
guys.
We talked before we got in the car and well, I talked to Jason before he rode off on his bike, and then I got back in the car and
Okay.
we left.
I'm going to ask you some questions about what you were wearing.
No, the
on that day.
neighbors
All right.
did, Max.
What was, how were you dressed that day?
That day I was more layered and casual. I wasn't planning on dressing up because I had errands to run.
Okay, aside from underwear, what was the first layer on top against your skin?
Here we go.
What was your first layer next to
From
your
top
skin?
down. So my first
top.
on top. My first layer was a yellow tiger shirt I have.
Is that the t-shirt we saw on the screen before?
Yes.
And on top, what was the next layer that you had on?
Was my favorite button up, which seems to have, it looks like dots, but they're little plants. It's a blue button up.
I hate to ask you an embarrassing question, but were you wearing underwear under your clothes that day?
No.
Okay. So you had no underwear on, no? All right.
No.
And after the blue button-up shirt, was that common for you to not wear underwear under your clothing?
Yes, I had tights on, so that kind of what I thought counted it as underwear.
And a bra, is it common for you to not wear a bra?
Yes.
So, all right, let's go back. I want to go back to the top garment. So I think we talked about the t-shirt, the button-up.
Yes.
I'm
After
done,
the
y'all.
button-up, what was the next thing you had on over that?
The next thing I had on over that was my gold sweater.
Okay. And is that the gold sweater we've seen the pictures of?
Yes.
Sometimes looks gold, sometimes looks brown.
Yes, it looks brown, but it's gold.
Okay. And after the gold sweater, what did you have on top of that?
I have this very large, it's a flannel. It's very large on me, so I kind of use it as a coat or an overcoat.
Anything else on your top half of your body?
Well, around my waist, I kind of had another sweater kind of tied loosely. It's like a long sweater.
Do you know what color that was?
It's kind of goldish.
Okay. All right, let's talk about the bottom half of your body. I
Yes.
think you mentioned tights.
Yes.
Were those the tights we've seen the pictures of?
Yes, my knit tights.
And on top of the tights, what did you have?
I had what's been called as mom jeans, but some light wash, high-waisted pants.
Okay.
Yeah, mom
Okay,
jeans.
is this a good spot?
Let me just
Great.
ask what you had on her feet, and then we can
Okay,
finish
we
this.
do all the layers and we're good.
Yeah,
for
okay.
lunch. Okay.
Were you wearing shoes on that day?
Yes, I have my work boots on.
Okay. That's it.
Okay, all right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to break for
All right, that's it, you guys. Okay. Wow. Oh, you're welcome, Coolest Reviews. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Wow. Well, okay. I'm not gonna highlight it. Oh my God, who's this? Dr. B. Let me see if I can hold on. I think there's a way. Oh, I guess I can't do it for her. I wonder if there is. Hey, Dr. B, what are you doing?
Hi.
Hi.
I am a little late.
You think, girl, she done testifying. It's over. A little late.
Mm.
Yeah, indeed. It's a good thing I
Doesn't
love
she
you.
testify for days though?
Yes, but she's done with today's testimony.
Ah,
Yeah,
damn
and you missed all the layers. She's like a motherfucking ogre.
it.
Oh God,
Hi,
you got to
everyone.
tell these people the Publix
Oh.
story. They need to know before we get into Ezra. Tell them about your thing with Publix, the grocery store. Why you won't go to Publix?
because because of the Grand Amato case.
Tell them
that
the
why?
rest of it. No, you told me something about scanning. Remember we were on the phone that time and you were like, I drive around the Publix parking lot. I won't even go through it. I don't like Publix.
We don't have a Publix here.
I
don't
know.
remember
You did tell me this. I did not make this up in my brain.
that.
Does Grant
my God.
Amato have an issue with Publix and it was a joke that I didn't get
Definitely.
because I don't know? Okay, that's the issue. Tell them the issue then.
Yeah, that's my issue with Publix. Well, Mr. Grant Amato. Oh my God. Mr. Grant Amato in his interrogation would talk a lot about the free Publix Wi-Fi. You see what I'm saying? So what he would do is he would go up in Publix to use their Wi-Fi, and then Publix was like, "Sure, officers, we'll give you all of our internet traffic forever." So good old Grant Amato was kind of cornered into having to kind of admit to reading all the news articles and watching all the news reports about his family being annihilated.
I see.
And yes, so I said, I'm not going anywhere near Publix because for all I know, they're in the bathrooms collecting DNA samples and shit. And besides, Publix also sounds like a bathroom as well. So
I don't care what you okay, this is what is going to happen. When you come, we're going to Publix. Just leave your phone here and you don't got to worry about it.
girl.
You have to be in Publix. You have to witness the Publix. You have to go with me. Look, if there's any crime, I'll take the rap, okay? I'm pretty sure I can argue my way out of it by not saying shit.
I don't know, man. This is the Floridas. Girls like me in Florida are like.
Are you kidding me?
A ticking
Can you
time
imagine
bomb.
the two of us together?
Oh God, Florida is not ready. Am I yelling? I feel like I'm yelling.
No, you're not yelling. They're not ready, but let them not be ready. Florida's never ready because every time somebody does something throwed off and crazy, the next person ups the ante. So they're never ready.
Yeah.
You got to watch that guy on TikTok that does the Florida stuff and he's like, I got it. And it's on my flip phone. It's freaking hilarious. I love it. He had a TikTok yesterday with a dude dancing in a lake or whatever, with a gator.
Oh.
To like a cumbia too, and not even like it was extra fancy.
Oh man.
Right.
Yeah. Well,
So,
I am truly disappointed that I missed Ezra's testimony. But this Florida thing, like seriously, it's about time we begin planning something.
We have to.
For
I've
really.
I've been telling you.
Well, I know. I just had to.
I know.
Find my place.
I know. Listen, it's all on you. I can tell you.
You're so patient.
You know how I roll. I'm not going anywhere. So I was just like, whenever the fuck you get around to it, I'll be here.
Yeah. Molson man, I hope my Publix story wasn't disappointing.
Maybe I was
been a topic for a while.
I can't remember. For some reason, I feel like I must have been in a different kind of mood that day because I feel like I cracked a shit ton of jokes at you when you told me this story. And maybe that's why I can't remember the whole thing and why the public. Maybe that's why, because I gave you a rash of shit.
Yeah.
That sounds on brand for me.
Oh, cool, Molson man. I love being enlightening.
Well, I guess she did say something about it had something to do with the Wi-Fi and they're always picking it up. And look, let me just say this. When Dr. B and I had this conversation, this was conversation 11 billion and 4 of 50, 1100, 11 billion and 27. Okay. So like, I'm not fucking testifying in court. I'm not under oath.
Exactly. Well,
I think she called Publix
unless
a snitch.
you've ever been on, Yes, Publix is a snitch.
That's what it
I'm
was.
saying.
That's what it was. That's what it was. Not the scanning. Publix is a snitch. That's what she
That's
said.
right. Publix is a snitch. There you go. That's more like me.
Oh my God.
I mean, come on. After the Watts case, do you think I'll ever entertain the idea of a Vivint doorbell camera or whatever?
Hell no.
No, that
Hell
came from the
no.
soul.
Absolutely not.
So I love true crime because it helps me eliminate big corporations like that. Do I get Exxon Oil? Hell no.
Hell no. Do I take my phone into Publix? Hell no.
Love it.
We
Oh,
we
man.
like true crime because we find the mistakes. We see room for
Yes.
improvement.
I love it.
Oh my God.
The ward where you learn to grow from your
Ward.
mistakes.
The ward where there's always room for improvement. Oh my God.
Oh man, the GoPro on a tree. Well, that's what I was thinking. I got a GoPro, and the other day I was toying with the idea of getting like one of those body straps so that I can like document something. I haven't decided what I want to document yet, but I definitely know it
We're going to
has involve
document
a
our
body
field trip
cam.
to Publix. Duh.
Yes. I have to make sure this damn GoPro can't like attach to their Wi-Fi because they're very intrusive.
Publix is a snitch.
Oh, Max, that's called stalking. Just got
Oh
my
my
own body
God.
cam. Nothing to see here. Keep it moving. I'm just here for the bodies, man.
She's never been to Publix before. Y'all stop staring.
Oh,
We'll probably get thrown out of Publix because Publix is fucking fancy. They're like real super bougie, you know. This ain't Publix behavior.
well, it's no surprise that they're snitches then.
Right,
Why
because they're
would you
super
go?
bougie. Yeah, they're bougie.
Well, exactly. That's why you go to Walmart. Now,
Oh,
Walmart.
let me tell you, if we strolled through Walmart with a fucking GoPro on our, both of us, if I had one on my fucking head and you had one across your chest, like some damn ass bootleg version of some body cam footage, let me tell you, nobody in the Walmarts, especially in Florida, would even look at us.
Business as usual. Just another Tuesday.
Oh my God. I mean, I'm serious. They wouldn't give no, not even a rat's fat kneecap, nothing. They just be like, oh, it's Walmart on Tuesday at 3:22 in the afternoon. No biggie.
Leave Publix alone. They've got nothing to do with this. Yeah, we do got to do another roast, girl. Like,
We do.
Who are we gonna roast?
I
mean,
don't know.
this new NK video is out.
I mean, we should.
I mean,
I
So, yeah,
I think I need to sit down.
of thoughts.
I think I need to sit down.
Body.
Did you go to the Kroger or the Walmart?
On the other side of Kroger.
Stephen, you know you only got 3 pairs of underwear. Been through all your drawers. You do not have a lot of clothes, Stephen.
good.
I totally forgot that I got this new fancy ass chair, and it does lean back. I wonder if it leans back like that. Let me see. Oh my god. Oh my god. It completely
You have to
leans
take a
back like
picture.
this. I got to take a picture. Yeah,
Please.
I'm going to have my daughter come in here. She's asleep. She's got work tomorrow, but it's going to be the official portrait of the Lord.
I'll be Daniel and you'll be the detective. No, not Daniel.
Stephen.
Where did I get Daniel?
I don't
Daniel.
McDaniels because his last name
Oh,
is
yes.
McDaniel.
Thank you. Ooh, okay. All right.
I can't look at that picture. It's too much. Oh my god.
But yes, as far as Max wanted some thoughts on the NK video. Well, one thing that I noticed.
Stop choking. Go ahead, Dr. B.
One thing that I noticed that's just on top of my head is oh, now it's gone. Hold on, let me retrace my thoughts. I hope you're done choking, Jen, because
I'm done choking, I think.
Oh my gosh, what was? Oh yes, the
Please
ever
do,
mysterious.
Go ahead, sorry. You
The
know,
ever
I just like to
mysterious-
shout out. Okay, I'll be quiet for reals. Now go ahead.
You know, my short-term memory is only like 3.5 seconds.
I know.
Before I forget again. But oh, see, 3.5 seconds passed. But it's Dwayne Kessinger, yes, when he said Nick. Remember, we were all like, who's Nick? Was there like a secret Nick in the room? It's Kevin, Nikki. So to see Mr. Kessinger put up that index finger, point towards NK and go, Nick. And she just turned 11 billion shades of red and just like sank in that chair. Like, Daddy was like, you better shut the fuck up, girl. I'm not playing with you. So that was like, huh. That was good to see.
It was.
Yeah, and then it was obviously fascinating to watch her body language and, establish her baselines. And girl, she's lying a lot.
Of course she is. Of course she is.
In my opinion, allegedly.
Allegedly for entertainment purposes only. Wish you a lie.
Oh, yes. Molson Man
you
has
always lying.
What about you lying? Oh my God.
Stop fucking lying.
Molson Man has a request, so if you don't mind, the Watts Island anthem.
Oh, wait.
NDO radio.
All right. So there you go, Molson Man.
Nah, fuck that bitch.
He pointed like the Family Guy monkey points. Yes. Oh, we got to get the visuals going for this. This has to be like a 1-year anniversary special or
yeah,
something.
we do, because it's
of
shouldn't
the
it,
rose.
hold on. Let me go to your channel real quick. I'm reasonably sure it's got to be because maybe. I'm trying to remember when we did that roast. It feels like it should be coming up on, if it's not past a year. When did we start doing them? Do you remember? Obviously. Well, who the fuck am I asking? Never mind.
Duh. Oh my gosh. And I'm so bad with emails. Like, I'm so terrible with emails. So I know I'm always like, oh my God, this is such a great email. Like, I need to take my time to respond. And so I turn it into a mountain in my head. And then I'm
And
like, oh,
87 years later, it required a yes or a no response.
and then
Bitch
I'll
over here
respond. I'll be like,
pondering and shit.
oh my God, that was easy.
Well, let's see when it
Yo.
says. It says 1 year
Okay.
ago. February 26th was the
Okay,
first.
so 1 year and some weeks because we're, the
Right.
ward.
Correct. We had other shit to do.
Yes.
Again,
Besides, we didn't get the video until after. So
correct. And again, that our motto or our mission statement is you're fucked either way. There's always room for improvement. Call me.
I love it.
Get that
I
on a
do
shirt.
answer a long while later. I really do.
Oh
But
gosh.
at least they know that they've been on my mind
An answer is
for a
coming
long time.
someday. So you want to roast ONK, do you? We can. I'm
We
down.
still
I
haven't.
can't stand her.
We still have to do a palooza. I feel like because we never did Chris Watts either. So I feel like we're gonna have to
Yeah.
do them both. So
Well, let's see. Okay, so we have
let's schedule it.
schedule. We have 8 days of Ezra. We're on day number 2.
Okay, well, my next week is not going to be good for my schedule because I have some events coming up that are
Are you
scheduled.
fancy? Your schedule will
Yeah,
not allow. All
my
right.
schedule will
Well,
not allow it.
the other okay, so let me look at this. Let me look at a calendar right quick because the
Well, we could also
Anthony
do this offline too.
well, we could. I think the people like to hear us bicker.
All right, let's bicker.
All right, here we go. Well,
Let's go.
the Anthony Tote case, the jury selection is April 14th. So
Woo,
we
woo.
have plenty of time, between
You're gonna cover Toad?
Yep. It's local
Girl,
to
isn't that like super? Exactly.
local to
Lamar,
Florida.
that's what I was saying.
Mhm.
Uh-huh.
Show is.
Well, you're saying April what? I'm thinking I could maybe fly by to hear the closing arguments. No.
I mean that trial's going to be a long time because it's they were able to put off even jury selection. I mean, this has been going on for a hot minute, and there's been delay after delay after delay, which tells me they got some good lawyering up in that mug. So that's my professional assessment. So that means it's going to be a long one. There's going to be a lot of objections, Your Honor, a lot of long cross-examinations, all the things.
Yeah, well, if he decides to take the stand, I'm there.
Okay.
And if it's
You
a
want to
good
roll out to
trial,
Celebration? Let me see where
hell
Celebration,
yeah.
Florida is for me. Okay, hold on.
Celebrate.
Come on. We're going to go from Holiday, Florida to Celebration, Florida.
Oh my God, that just sounds like a good time.
It does, doesn't it?
Yes. So what is the distance?
I am still typing.
Oh, sorry.
Because they want to suggest a bunch of crap that I don't need.
I got you.
Are you sitting down? Brace yourself.
I'm braced.
1 hour and 40 minutes. We can totally do it.
100%. That's like nothing.
Yup.
I can spit from Holiday to Celebration.
Correct. Correct. Hell, we could. I feel like, give me just a second, because Kissimmee.
I feel like your brain is.
Oh yeah.
Doing the
There's
thing.
at least 37 bars in between there and.
I feel like this is us right now. Look at your screen, girl.
Oh, look at Melody still having a crazy bang day. This time they're crossed. She got a whole X marks the spot going on the side of her face with them bangs. Girl, what you doing?
This is Jen Lou and Dr. B planning to attend the Toad murder trial.
Yes. We can totally do this. This is going to be fun.
Wah,
Wowie, wow, wow.
wah, 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 wah. Now I'm just talking shit. You know what I mean?
What you mean, hey?
I miss you. Oh my god.
I miss you too.
Yeah, that was Lori Debo. Valor.
You want to dress like Lori and Melanie?
Let's do it. I can
My
be
hair's
Melanie 'cause
long. I can do the yeah, because I got long hair. I'll do the curl.
I
and I can-
totally have the Melanie like spikes, so I can
I-
do the bangs.
All
I
right, I'll
already
do the
am-
Lori Vallow psychopath crazy eye curl.
Perfect.
I got a curling wand. We should totally do it.
We should. Well, I won't keep you up much longer. Sorry I missed Ezra, but I will be back for the next time because I don't want to miss it.
Yeah, we got plenty of time, and you actually, tomorrow night should be even better because now we're at the day of.
Oh, perfect. Just in time.
Mm-hmm.
We skipped
And-
all the bullshit. Now we're getting to the
meat and potatoes. Mhm.
great. Because
See,
I
this
didn't
is-
like I didn't like her I didn't like her the initial part where she goes on and on about her dad and how they're like, oh, they have the secret language and blah 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 blah, and like just the bullshit. Like, let's get to the day of and let's get to cross-examination. and
Correct.
Just shut up.
Correct. I'm with you. But this is what I was this is something that I caught. If I'd have skipped all that, I wouldn't have caught this part. So Ezra and medic Jason Roger, screenshot taker, timeline maker. Were hooking up on the side. Like they had a full on all American rejects dirty little secret going on, right? And nobody had testified to that. Jason didn't, the state didn't ask, she didn't ask on her cross, and she's the one that cross-examined him, and she didn't ask it. So now this had nothing, all Jason's angry bursting into Alex's home like a wrecking ball. Talking about, I heard him say, let him help you. You did not. You thought you heard, let me bang you or some other such nonsense. And you leapt into action like the jealous rat fink that you are. I bet you he took those stairs like Superman, one bound. You know, he's like skipping 3 stairs. It's probably all winded too because he had just ridden his bike. Yeah. With the card and the clothespin, you know, in the spokes, so it can sound like a motorcycle. I got your number, Jason. Don't play.
Have a good night, Curious Rose.
Good night, Curious Rose.
Yeah, Jason
So, yeah.
definitely. Yeah.
That's an integral part because the mother
But
of dragons story
Jason,
made no sense.
You know, Jason Roger, Charlie Foxtrot is
Tango.
Yeah. He's like he's totally the type of guy who would be like, Ezra, can we have one more cup of coffee together?
Yeah, the one
Just
more
for
time.
closure. Just for closure. I just
He's
want to make sure that we can move on.
in a
Roger that.
healthy way. Let's go to a tender venue for this delicate conversation. Fuck out of here.
So yeah.
Yeah. So that's yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We're on to you, Jason and Ezra. Don't play us over here at the Word for Fools, because you can't.
There's always room for improvement.
Right, lie better. And stop leaving your antique cup places, Ezra. Like, what the fuck? It's antique. No, that's the whole principle of antique is it's special and old, right? It's not your fucking traveling cup. What's the matter with you? Leave that shit at home. What's your problem?
Really.
All right. Well,
All right. Well,
We'll
it was
see.
good catching up.
It's
Thank
always good
you.
catching up. You can come up
Yeah.
anytime. It's your StreamYard.
No, it's not. I realized I asked in chat. I was like, link, please. And then I was like,
Yeah.
wait a minute.
You
I can
don't
just
need
go in.
Yeah, you can.
So then I just showed up.
I like it when you show up and show out. That's my favorite.
Hell yeah. That's how we roll.
That's how we roll. Hey, speaking of going to Celebration and all that, I keep getting ads in my game for this website that has festival wear. Some of that shit's kind of cute. Maybe we should purchase some festival wear for the course. Just in case we want to hit a festival on the way. Be summer.
Sounds good to me. I do like to dress up, so
I do too. I like to be fancy.
as long as it matches the body cam wear.
Of course. What do
Mm.
you take me for? Some kind of uncoordinated fool?
Actually, no,
No?
I do have faith in you. You might actually get frustrated with me because I do not coordinate.
I'll
I just
help
look
you.
like a rainbow all the time.
No, I'm
I
not.
just
I'll have you know,
radiate
Molson
glitter
Man.
and shit.
I can
I
imagine.
sprinkle my pixie dust everywhere.
I feel like it now. I can sprinkle it over here. I need some pixie dust.
Done and done.
Thank you. No, my son, that's my Mother's Day gift every year from now until I guess the day I'm no longer alive. He give that's I he has I have a Hulu and Netflix account. My son gives it to me. And I share my HBO Max with him. I'll have you know. Molson
We
Man.
are all sharing.
Mm-hmm. Sharing is caring. Except for your antique cup, bitch. Leave that at home.
Ain't nobody want to drink out of your old ass shit.
Right? Weirdo.
Nobody
All
know
right.
what's been on it.
No. Ill. All right, you guys. I'm going to end this, and I'll see you guys
All right.
tomorrow at the same time.
See you
Be
on
back.
the other side.
Adios, muchachos. Okay, bye.